we apologize for trying to murder you and feed you to Billy the Squid. And they're like, well, where is Billy the Squid? What happened to Chip and Dale? And we see that on the topmost mast, chat, Chip and Dale they've literally killed Billy the Squid. They've tied his tentacles to the mast and they've impaled him with the top of the masthead. And it's like, Jesus Christ. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content in my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games. I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video. But again, guys, an absolute pleasure to have you here. I hope you're all having a very nice Friday. Thank you for joining me. But we're going to move on to the first segment. Only veggies. We're going to move on to the first segment of today's show, today's stream. And that, my friends, is a TV review. An episode review of Chip and Dale, not the dances, chat, Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers, episode 1. Now, I grew up with this series, chat. I grew up with it, but it's been so long since I've seen it. And so I was really seeing this with just fresh eyes. I was like, wow. And it's kind of exciting for me to review something like this because, you know, this is one of the best Disney 2D animated shows, I think, from that time period, along with, you know, DuckTales and Tailspin, you know, that 90s, late 80s up to that 90s period. They had a lot of fun stuff, along with Warner Brothers. Kind of like it was like a golden age. I guess it was during, like, the Renaissance, if you will, of Disney, and their shows were, I would say, are also part of that, chat, you know, alongside things like Lion King and Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast and Hercules and things. So yeah, I think these are both kind of stand head to shoulders with those amazing animated projects. But chat, before I go any further into any more detail, I need to ask you a very important question, and that question being, how many of you have seen Chip and Dale? Not the dancers. Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers. I'm very curious about this. The darkness calls to me. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I am doing very well. I'm doing very good. Hope the same to you. Jay, what's the plan for when the crew heads to Florida? I'm not going to Florida, so I'm not sure. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing here. But outside of that, I don't know. I don't know. I've heard, never had the pleasure, says Jaybird. Oh, yeah, I saw the cartoon. Nice. From Firewolf. Melody Nelson, good to see you. Hello, I have. Very good. Okay, we got a lot of people here. Lost Child, welcome to stream. Childhood cartoons. I love you. You know I love my tunes. Okay, not for well. Same. We're in the same boat. I haven't seen it for. I remember, but I've forgotten a lot. When Fox, those cartoons were my jam. Love them. And Darkwing Duck. Oh, yeah, Darkwing Duck is amazing, too. Yeah, that was definitely part of that whole era. Agreed. Carol, hi, everyone. I hope you're all having a good day. Very good day, Carol. Just about to jump into Rescue Rangers Episode 1 review. Ask people if they've seen it. Have you seen Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers? I'm curious. Doom, are you scared of Florida? No, I just can't afford to go on every single trip because I have to, do my thing that I'm doing here. Since, so much of my income is from streaming and working on this kind of content right now. So, but I will be going to the Dallas show. I will be at the Dallas show. King On, has been a long-ass time. If I have to say a year, probably the late 2000s. Okay. So, yeah, it's been a while. It's been a decade. Sage 6 says, nope. Austin, Chip and Dale are those male dancers, right? Like, yep, Chris Fro, the same ones. Yeah, the Chip and Dale dancers, exactly. Let's get dangerous. Darkwing Duck. Helmberger says, yes. The darkness, no, but I saw the Chip and Dale. See, everyone thinks every time I tell you Chip and Dale, it's either the rescue. That's why even Disney was like, okay, we got to specify. We have to be very specific. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, because SNL has taken that from us. So I love that they had to add that onto it. It's great. But no, okay, we got a good mix here, chat. Some of you who have seen it, grew up with it, or some of you have not, or some of you who have seen it but just don't remember it. I'm kind of in that boat right now because I remember really liking this show at the time, but it's been so long. I even forgot some of the characters' names. I was like, okay, I know Chip and Dale, and who's the girl? The Gadget. I was like watching the show. I was like, wait, what's her name? And then they have their little fly bunny named Zipper or Zip. I totally forgot he was in this series. I was like, oh yeah. And then Monty. who is, I guess, I don't know if he's South African or Australian. And, no, I guess he's Australian because the name Monty. But I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot his name, too. So this was just kind of refreshing to watch this show again, Chad. I mean, it really was like, oh, fuck, okay. It all started coming back to me, and, like, certain things of the characters, too, like their personalities. And because I remember, like, a couple things from, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. And one of them was that I was like, oh, yeah, like Monty, he has a severe drug addiction to cheese because he's a mouse. I guess Chip and Dale, they're both, they're both chipmunks. And then Monty and Gadget, they're both mice. And then their little fly friend or pet, whatever the fuck he is, he's literally a fly. Zip, he's a fly. And thank you, Colonel Useless, for giving a sub to Cool Color Black. Appreciate that, Colonel Useless. Their winner would be him, indeed. Thank you. But yeah, I forgot about like Monty's drug addiction to cheese, and I forgot about how both Chip and Dale are just constantly lusting after Gadget. I imagine there is a lot of Rule 34 fan art of Gadget Chat. I'm just like, yeah, I bet these animators are horny too. I'm sure there's episodes where they got to wearing skimpy clothes and shit. I'm like, oh my God. I can't believe it. But the other thing I remember from the series show was like, oh yeah, that's right. I fucking hate Dale. He's useless. He adds nothing to the group. And Chip constantly is beating the shit out of him throughout this episode. He's like, you fucking idiot. And he's always slapping him around and stuff. It's because Dale deserves it. It's because Dale, he's lazy, he's a glutton, he lies constantly. It's like, what do you add to this dynamic? I know that he's supposed to be the Michelangelo character. He's a cool dude and a party guy and all that. And, he loves eating acorns. I was like, I get it. But it's like, he adds fucking nothing to this entire group. Like, Chip is very much the leader. Gadget's the brains. She's the tech. Monty, he's an expert. He brings that veteran status in there. He's like, I've seen it all. He's worldly. He knows multiple languages and things. Like, okay, I understand, like, everyone's positions. Like, what the fuck does Dale bring? What does he bring? He brings nothing. Brings nothing. I remember he was a child. I remember like, okay, I'm sick of him. Ooh, chat, we are on the cusp of the hype train. Also, get the 100 biddies. I just remember that in Russia, there's a cult there's a cult that worships Gadget from Chip and the rest. Yes, there is. And it's fucking weird. And because they all jerked off to her as kids, probably. That's the only thing I can think of, chat. A lot of people say Gadget haven't heard. There you go. Man, a lot of people are lusting after her still to this day. Yeah, she has her cult. It's weird. You can look it up online. There's like a YouTube video about it. He makes gummy ships. Yeah, he does. He does do that. I love how they just take trash and then they just turn it into like contraptions and vehicles and things. We see this throughout the episode. Like Gadget, she makes like a submarine. She has this weird kind of like a skateboard, fan-powered skateboard car. She's got a lot. No Name Woman, thank you for the 100 biddies. Marks, a bit of pattern, chat. We're going to put the review on pause because as you know, when we get hype, we got to get juicy. That's how it has to be, chat. Ooh, baby, and we got a new follower in here too. Thank you. Foff B minus Fofa. I'm gonna call you Foff. Foff, thanks so much for the follow. You my new Huck, my new Grinch. I hope you're doing well today. We gotta go ahead and get hype, Chad. We gotta be like the Chip and Dale dancers, not like Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Okay, that's how it has to be, Chad. Dad, but we don't want to be disappointed, Martin Stare. Yeah, that's what it'd be. He'd be like. He would not like it. Thank you, Chad, for all of that incredible hype. Thank you again. Thank you again, Deadpool, for donating. Appreciate that. Everyone was submitting the biddies, chat, and the subscriptions. Thank you. Deadpool, Luke the Boss, Jaybird, Colonel Eustace, Giant Elfman. Also in there, coming in there. Everybody, Chad, thank you. No Name Woman, thank you guys so much. An absolute pleasure to have you here right now. Currently in the middle of my review for Chip and Dale's, not the dancers, Chip and Dale's, Rescue Rangers. Have not seen this series in many a time. It's been a while. Can we just start a new tradition to replace this one? Sorry, baby. I swear, baby. Never. Maybe we do Goofy's cover. We can do Goofy's cover of this song, Chad. That could be fun. That could be a fun stream. I love it, Corey. Chris, two things. Did you take meth before coming to the studio? And do you have extra? Yes. This is my meth. Doodle Bob is my meth. That's the sounds you make when you take meth. That's what happens, Chef. That's what happens. But No, again, absolute pleasure to have you here, Chad. We got to go ahead and get back to my review, for Rescue Rangers. Talk about the series in general when it came out, my views of it, how I like and dislike some of the characters, Chad. Really, the only one I dislike is Dale. Fuck Dale. He's a piece of shit and he's useless. Doesn't contribute anything else to the group. But the others obviously do, as you know, Chad. And case in point, Chad. This episode opens up with Dale just lying in a pile of trash. He doesn't pick up after himself, chat. They live in the Rangers, the Rescue Rangers, they live in a giant tree, and it looks very nice. They got furniture and shit, but he's just literally just laying in a pile of trash, a mess of his own making, chat. I can just imagine the smell. Alec, thank you so much for subscribing. 9 months, you front pooped out a Twitch baby. What is the name of our Twitch baby, Alec? You must tell me, but a pleasure to have you here. We're talking about Dale living in his own mess. And Chip comes down. He's like, Dale, Jesus Christ, I've told you so many times, just pick up after yourself, okay? You're not the only person that lives here, okay? We have Monty, who's here. We have Zipper the Fly, all right? And Gadget, all right? I will not let you fuck up my potential relationship with her, okay? I can't let her know that my brother's an absolute slob. And he's like, well, maybe she likes this. Maybe she just wants to relax a little bit like me. You're so high-strung, Chip. And they're going back and forth, back and forth. Eventually, Monty, he wakes up. He comes down their slide, and he's, oh, why's everything going in trash? He's very thick accent, Chip. Australian, South African, maybe Cockney. I'm not sure. It goes back and forth. And he's like, well, Dale didn't clean up after himself. He's been living in this massive trash pile. And eventually Gadget comes down. She's like, you know what, Dale, I really appreciate if you clean up after yourself. And Chip's like, yeah. And Dale's like, fine, whatever. And then you had Zipper, the fly. And he's a fly, so he loves the trash chap. All he does is eat and shit and want to breed all day. That's pretty much it. So he's like, I don't mind, Dale. Man, I live in my own feces, so what does it matter? But he's like, all right, I'll clean up. And so he goes outside, Chad. He goes outside. And he's putting all his trash and bullshit inside a little trash receptacle that's right outside their tree. And then he eventually, though, he slips on the railing, the rim of the trash can, and he falls into it. And it's just, he's like, oh, God, oh, it's disgusting because it's not my trash and feces. And Chip is like on the tree, and he's just like, he's just laughing at him, Chad. Before, he was like beating the shit out of when they were in the tree. It's like, clean up your shit. He's very physical with his brother, Chad. But then, the trash man has come, Chad. Danny DeVito, the trash man. He's taken the trash receptacle and he empties it into the garbage truck with Dale inside, and it drives away. And Chip's like, fuck, this could end all of our problems if I just don't tell anyone that Dale was taken by the trash man. He'll be out of sight, out of mind, and I can finally engage in my romantic relationship with Gadget. But that small part of him, Chad, that small part of him is like, he's still my brother. Fuck. And so he goes back in the tree and he tells Gadget and Monty about the situation, Zip, and they get on this one of Gadget's contraptions, Chat. She's made a kind of like a skateboard vehicle that's propelled by a fan. And they shoot out of the tree, Chad, and they're in pursuit of Dale in the garbage truck. Eventually, the garbage truck comes to a red light and it stops, and Dale's trying to get out of the trash. He's like drowning in trash. And at this point, they're like, oh, shit, okay, because Gadget's like, okay, the only way we're going to be able to catch up the truck is we take this ramp right here. And he's like, fucking Chip's like, do it, Gadget. And Monty's like, do it, guys, you do it. And he launches off of it, Chad, but then she loses control. And I think like one of the wheels falls off and it breaks apart in midair. It's like, oh, shit. And they all land right in the back of the garbage truck with Dale, Chad. And they're all trying to free themselves. But eventually, the garbage truck unloads onto a giant garbage barge, and it starts going out to sea. And eventually, when they finally, unbury themselves of all the trash and garbage and human feces that's in there, Chad, they look out, and Gadget's like, isn't this a beautiful view? Because they see the city, and Chip's like, are you fucking crazy? We're literally on sea. How are we going to get home? We're covered in shit. And she's like, well, don't you worry. I'm sure we'll be able to figure out the situation. Dale's like, yeah, come on, big bro. Why don't you just relax a little bit? And he's like, and I'm like, I will beat you. I should have let you to die in this refuse pile instead of come after you. But, Monty, he's doing his thing. He's trying to make sure everyone's calm. Zipper, he's like, this is amazing. This is the greatest thing ever. And he just starts eating all the, apple cores and shit that's there and rotten fruit. It's like a smorgasbord for Zipper the Fly. But, you know, at one point, Dale is playing around the trash. He gets on top of this trash little pile, and there's like this bottle. And Chip's like, Dale, be careful. Don't slip inside the bottle. It'll be hard to get you out. He's like, don't tell me what to do. And he inevitably slips in the bottle, and it loosens on top of the trash pile, and it starts tumbling down, and it goes up in the air. And then fucking Chip's like, of course. And it goes, boom, lands right on top of Chip. And he, too, is now inside the bottle. And then Monty's oi! I'll get you too. Oh, yeah. And he has this big fucking hammer he just found. He's like waddling over, like, and they're like, no, don't hit it. And he's just about to smash it down the bottle and free them and also possibly impale them with, you know, broken glass. Before that can happen, chat, all of a sudden, this giant barrel in the middle, right on the side of the boat just pops up. And they're like, what the hell is that? And it's like this giant barrel, and then the top of it opens up, and then this fucking claw, this giant claw, which expands into this huge net, then wraps up all the rescue rangers. They're like, ah! And Gadget and Monty and Zipper, they're able to free themselves from the net. They get out, but then Chip and Dale, they're still stuck in the bottle, chat. And they're like, what's happening? And they're sucked underneath the water itself, chat, out to sea. And Monty's still, they're fucking dead, ain't they? And Gadget's like, no. Thankfully, the way in which the bottle went into the water, they'll still have some air. If I'm just able to build a submarine type contraption, we can get them out of the bottle. And Monty's like, okay. So he's eating. He's like, well, let me know what you need. And he starts doing that. Glee, thank you for the 100 biddies. A pleasure to have you here. Damn, yeah, I'm sorry. Sally, the Twitch notification system is just awful. They need to do better. I don't know how they're gonna fix it. It seems to be getting worse. But no, the absolute pleasure to have you here, Glee. Just got into the review. Rescue Rangers, Chip and Dale, they're being dragged into the bowels of the ocean itself. But we cut to Chip and Dale, who, you know, the bottle is slowly filling, but they still have a lot of oxygen. And they're like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna get out of here? And they see, as they get to the bottom of the ocean, they notice a capsized ship, chat, but it's completely underwater, but it's capsized. And they're like, wait, what is that? And they're being dragged towards it. And at this point, they're like, all right, fuck this. We got to get the hell out of here. And so they managed to free the bottle. But a giant octopus notices, hey, there's something wriggling in there. I'm going to eat it and put it in my weird octopus beak mouth. And it grabs them, Chow, with one of its hentai tentacles and tries to get inside the bottom. They're like, whoa! They're like freaking out because they're like, we've never seen an octopus before. And it scares the hell out of them, chat. But eventually the pull of the hook of the grappling hook thing, it yanks the octopus off, and it's like, and it missed them. It was just about to eat their innards, chat. But then they're pulled into the capsized boat where there is air underneath there, and they're released. It opens up, and all the trash and refuse is there, and they get, based on the force of the bottle, when it hits the ground, it frees them, it breaks. And then they're confronted, chat, by literal pirates, as they like to call themselves. It's rats who fancy themselves pirates, chat. And you have this rat captain, and it's all, oi, we have some scallywags, we do. And they're like, hi, listen, we don't know how we got out here or what happened, but we were in the refuse pile when your grappling hook neck contraption got us, and we just want to know if there's a way out. And Dale's like, no, fuck it, Chip, these are pirates. Come on, we gotta talk like pirates, it's fine. And he's like, hey, we want to be pirates too. He's like, you want to be pirates too? Well, why didn't you fucking say so? Come aboard, mateys. And so Dale is ingratiating himself to the pirates at this point, chat. And Chip is a little concerned because he's like, these guys are fucking crazy. All right, they think that why do they think like they're pirates? What is this? And Dale's like, come on, they're just having fun. He's like, no, they're all mentally ill. This is a little disturbing. Eventually, we cut back up to Monty and Gadget, and she's putting together the submarine, chat, but, you know, she's trying to get Monty, like, make sure to get me this part. He's like, okay, I'll get the fucking things, Jesus, girl. And he gets the stuff, and she still works in the sub. Eventually, cut back to Chip and Dale, and they're having a big, massive feast. and they're eating literal trash. Chip is disgusted because, he has a relatively healthy diet, Chad, of nuts and fruits and things. And they're just eating things that are just covered in germs. It's awful, but they don't care. And eventually, the captain's like, oh, that's enough feasting, lads. It's enough feasting now. Now we look for the booty. We look for the treasure. And they have some of the other pirates, and they're like, oh, I want to look for the treasure today. I want to look for it this week. And he goes, no, we need to give it to one of the 2 new pirates that we have. And Chip's like, you can give it to my brother. And Dale's like, yeah, I'll be a pirate. Sure, I'll look for the treasure. And he's like, all right, lads, let's go. But all the pirates leave the table, which is still covered in garbage and food. And the captain's like, oi, you need to clean the fucking table, lads. And then Chip's like, see, even these disgusting rats want to make sure that they leave a nice clean table, okay? That's why you should pick up after yourself, Dale. And what the rats do is they literally take the table and they just dump all the food on the ground, Chad. And they're all stepping in and stuff. And it's like, nice, lads, we'll save that for later. That's leftovers. And it's like, and Chip's like, you're literally going to eat the food that you're stepping in right now? Oh my God, I can't believe this. And so then they go out, chat, and they start looking for the treasure. But then Chip's like, why? Okay, they're looking for the treasure this week, and yet they have a map that leads to the treasure. So they've done this before. And Dale's like, Chip, come on, it's just good fun. But that's what literally happens, chat. So they give Dale the map. They go to a room. They go to the first room he goes to. It's like, actually, I think if we take this shortcut, we'll get to the treasure faster. And then the fucking... the captain's like, oi, you don't want to go into that room, lad. That's where Billy the Squid resides, and it's the octopus. Billy has gotten many a pirate over these years. Many a pirate, and I couldn't lose another. And he's like, oh shit, yeah, we encountered Billy the Squid. He was pretty nasty. He goes, he is indeed. And they eventually get to this other door. And then Dale's like, I think this is it. And he opens the door, and there are literally surrounded, Chad, in gold doubloons and gemstones and rubies and diamonds. It's a pirate's hold. And he's like, I found the treasure. This is amazing. Come on, guys, let's take the treasure. And the pirate's like, and the pirate captain's like, no, lad, no. We have to discover the treasure again next week. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, we discover the treasure every single week. It's what we do. and Dale the first time is like, oh, you guys are crazy. And Chip's like, we got to get the fuck out of here. And Dale's like, oh, okay, well, I can't wait to discover it again next week. And all the pirates are like, well, you won't discover it next week. It'll be someone else's turn, of course. And he goes, yeah, of course, yeah, totally, sorry. I just love treasure. He goes, yes, we all love treasure, we do. And Chip's like, well, you know what, guys? Really appreciate doing the whole pirate thing with you. This was a lot of fun, discovering the treasure. Really do appreciate it. But my brother and I are going to get going. We're going to go back home. We're going to make sure our friends are okay. So if you don't mind, is there like a way to get off the ship? And they're like, oh, you can't leave. And he's like, like it's like it's hard to leave, like can't leave like right now because of we're in a capsized ship with a lack of oxygen, which I imagine has added to brain damage over time. He goes, no, you know our treasure, and you're part of our brotherhood, unless you don't want to be part of me crew. If that's the case, to the brig with you. And they're like, no, we can be pirates. He's like, no, we don't trust you. To the brig with them. They're like, fuck. And so they're taken to the brig. They're taken to the prison, chat, where they're interrogated and tortured, which is horrifying. Then we cut back to Zip and Gadget and Monty, and they've constructed the submarine, and they get inside the little sub, which is made of like basically it's like a Coke bottle with some like a baking soda per power like fuel source, and so they ignite the baking soda with the Coca-Cola. That creates a chain reaction, and they go underneath the water, chat, and that's where they're observing things like, oh shit, there's a capsized ship. That I don't see Chip and Dale, because they'd be dead by now because of the lack of oxygen, but maybe they went under there and there's an air pocket. Let's go down there. And so she controls the contraption. But as they're moving around, they encounter Billy the Squid, who tries to kill them. They're like, fuck! And so he destroys the submarine, Chad, trying to get at Monty and Zip and Gadget, and they break for the ship. They go underneath it. They come up on top. And and I think at this point, like, Billy the Squid tries to attack them with one of his hentai tentacles, and Monty just finds like a sword or something, just stabs the shit, cuts it off, and the Squid's like, ah! And it goes back in the water. But then they're actually in the treasure room, and they're like, oh my, holy shit, there's treasure in here. And she's like, oh, this is why the ship has remained capsized all this time. The treasure is weighing it down. And she's like, listen, Monty, I'm going to work on another submarine to try and get us out of here. I'm going to use any materials I can find. In the meantime, why don't you and Zip go and look for Chip and Dale? He's like, I will, girl, I will. And so he goes off, Chad, while she makes the submarine, or works on it at the very least. And he hears some commotion, he hears some voices, and he goes to the brig area, Chad. He's on top of like this desk, this old destroyed desk, and he sees the pirates just beating the shit out of Chip and Dale. And Dale's like, see, you just couldn't have pretended to be a pirate, Chip. Okay, you just it always had to be your way. He's like, these guys are fucking insane. What are you talking about, be a pirate? I'm not gonna live down here and eat food that has been stepped on by these disgusting rats. They're like, how fucking dare you say that to us? You don't know of our legacy. We have a code, the pirate's code. Look, the must get the base, Monty. Oi, I found the treasure, I did. That's pretty much what it is. But they're talking about their code, and Chip's like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, we rats have lived down here for 200 years. This society has been down here for 200 years. Kind of horrifying when you think about it. And they've just been breeding and eating each other. It's like, oh my God. And they never went to the surface. And Chip is like, why have you chosen to live down here? Because of the code to our captain, Captain Lafayette. Oh, we lost him 200 years ago. He was a rat. He was a great rat among rats. And one day when he makes his return, we will be free of our code, of our honor, and our treasure. Our ship shall ascend to the surface with him as our leader. And Monty's hearing all this shit. He's like, oi. I'll just pretend to be their captain. That's what I'll do. And so he finds a pirate outfit, and he just walks out. And he's like, oi, lads, it's me, Captain Lafayette. I have returned. And Captain, is that you? It's been too long. But then some of the other pirate rats are like, whoa, wait a minute. How we know he's the captain? We haven't seen him in 200 years, we have. And the other rats are like, oh, it's true, we haven't seen him in 200 years, yeah. And he's like, let's go ahead and get cabin boy Billy. And Monty's like, cabin boy Billy? And he goes, yeah, you're cabin boy. And they bring over this mummified, this incredibly old mummified rat who is blind in one eye, and he's like, is it time for tea? It's like, no, not tea time, no. We need you to look at your captain, Captain Lafayette. Is he back here? Yeah, isn't he? Like, he is. So let's look about to get their buddies. Our part that I only saw because I watched the clip is when Dale kicks Chipmunk ass, and then that parrot goes, oh, I know. That's funny because Dale gets mad and the parrot skeleton falls on Chip's head, and he's wearing it like a skull mask, and he's like, God damn, he's so upset. But they bring over the cabin boy. Hey, sir, Captain Lafayette, you've changed so much. I remember when you had that mean squint in your eye. And he goes, oh, I still have that. And he does like a squint. He's like, oh, you have the squint. That's right, you did, yeah. Although you seem to have grown. I remember you being very short. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I was standing on my tippy toes there. There you go. He's like, oh, tippy toes, yeah. No, yeah, you're short. Oh, that's weird. He goes, what? And he's like, well, I remember back in the day you only had one leg, and you seem to have grown your leg back. That's weird. He goes, oh, no, that was my tail you saw. And he lifts his leg up. He goes, oh, well, actually, it was your left leg. And he just changes his legs. He's like, oh, you are Captain LaFat. Oh, Captain, it's been so long. And the rats are like, yeah. And it's like, you've done well, men, but I wish you to free the prisoners. And Captain, they're not pirates. He's that's fine, don't worry. I'll deal with them myself. But I need to leave with them right now, and I'll come back later. And then Chip's like, we need to get the fuck out of here, so don't worry, Chip. Gadget, she's building a submarine, so don't you worry, all right? Don't you worry. And then Gadget comes in, she goes, hi, guys, listen, I just wanted to ask if you had any, like, materials and stuff. Monty, why you dress up as a pirate? And he's like, no, I'm Captain LaFat. And then Chip, like, goes up to Gadget, she's like, we are going to die. Keep your mouth shut. And she's like, all right, don't have to be rude. And at this point, they're like, the pirates provide them with a way to get out of the ship. You just go up there. There'll be another little, like, submarine-esque thing. And you can get out of there. And it's, oh, thank you, crew. I appreciate you. But then the cabin boy rat's like, wait, Captain LaFat, I've something for you. And he's like, what is this? Like your most prized possession. I made sure not a single pirate took a piece of it. Your prized cheese. And it's this cheese platter, chap, that has this, glass top on it. It's like so well preserved. And if in case you don't know, Monty, he's a drug addict, Chad. He's a cheese fiend, and he can't help himself, Chad. He's so cheese, and he just launches himself in the cheese shed. The costume falls off of him and everything. And it's like, shit, the disguise is ruined. And the captain's all, oi, you ain't no Captain LaFat. Get 'em, boys. They need to walk the plank. And Chip's like, God damn it. You need to go to a doctor. Monty's like, I can't help myself. I can't help it. I love cheese. I know you love cheese. And so they're forced into the Billy the Squid's room, chat, where it's all submerged in water. Then they have this one plank on there, and they're forced to walk the plank. And, Chip's like, guys, listen, we're not going to tell anyone about your treasure. We don't care. We just want to get out of here. It just smells like feces. And he's like, we like the smell of feces, we do. Now walk the plank. And right before they're pushed off, their rope catches at the last minute on the plank itself, so they're stuck up there. And then Monty, he expands, like he pushes the bonds as far as he can, and then Zip, the little fly, he flies out of there, chap. And he manages to attack the pirates, and this allows the rescue rangers to free themselves. But fucking Billy the Squid, he comes in there, and he just starts grabbing all the rats and, like, yanking them down, just eating them. It's, like, horrifying, chat. The rescue rangers, they eventually run to the treasure room, where they're being pursued by the rats, who have turned all of the pistols into, like, little cannons, basically, put little wheels on them. And so they realize, like, okay, well, and Gadget's like, wait, that's a good idea. The pistols, what are we talking about? They're killing us. It's like, no, if we load one of the cannonballs into the actual cannons on the ship, we can blow a hole into it, causing all of the treasure to go out, and then it would lift itself up. And they're like, okay, that's great. And so they distract all the pirates while, or Monty does that, while Gadget, she prepares the cannon, and Chip and Dale roll a big cannonball inside the cannon. They rolled in their chat, and right before it's about to go off, like, Dale, being a fucking moron, is just standing right in like the blast radius, like, I'm gonna plug my ears up, and Chip has to rescue his brother right as the cannon goes off, and boom, shoots a huge hole into the side of the ship, chat, and all the treasure starts pouring out, and this causes the ship to finally start to move upward, chat. And then Billy the Squid, he gets caught up in all this stuff. He's like, It's like he's getting thrown around as the ship turns itself over. It turns itself over, chat, lifts up onto the top of the surface of the ocean. And eventually all the pirates are like, the light! I haven't seen the light in so long. I mean, some of these have never seen sunlight before. It's crazy. And they're like, they're horrified. And eventually, Gadget and Monty and Zip, they recover. It's like, well, now you guys can be free and you can have your adventures again. They're like, you're right, Lost, you're right. We can have many a pirate adventure. That's true. You have done us such a great service. We apologize for trying to murder you and feed you to Billy the Squid. And they're like, well, where is Billy the Squid? What happened to Chip and Dale? And we see that on the topmost mast, chat, Chip and Dale they've literally killed Billy the Squid. They've tied his tentacles to the mast and they've impaled him with the top of the masthead. And it's like, Jesus Christ. And the rats are like, that will be our flag. Billy will serve us in death. And Chip's like, can we just leave now? And so they all get onto like this little boat. And they wave to the pirates as they're sailing away. But then Dale's like, hold on, guys. I want to give them a 5-cannon salute. And he somehow has obtained several of the pistols that were on board the ship, and he fires them off. But they weren't filled with, like, gunpowder. They were literally filled with, I can only assume, is trash and Dale's own chipmunk shit. And it covers the pirates. They're like, ah! And then we cut to the end. And that, my friends, is my scene by scene breakdown chat for Chip and Dale, not the dancers. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers Episode 1. Oh, God, dead squid ass. Yeah, as a flag. Yeah, it's creepy as hell. Yeah, but it's an awesome episode, chat. Wonderful animation, very well voice acted, some cool little action sequences, chat. Very imaginative. I'm a big fan. But thank you, great review. Thank you, Hamilton Burger, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Very fun. It's on Disney Plus, by the way. A lot of these old shows. The original DuckTales is up there. Tailspin. Darkwing Duck, and of course, Rescue Rangers. Chat. If you want to relive a little bit of your childhood, some of that good old-fashioned childhood nostalgia, I appreciate it. I'm not 100% sure on that science. Oh, I know. Science is, I mean, it's like, oh, there's some science in it, but then they cut a lot of corners in this show. Obviously. Oh, thank you. Chris, that was a freaking roller coaster. I told you, it's nuts. Science. It's science. That's what it is. Oh, my Lord. Thank you, chat. I don't know, man. You kind of sus for knowing about Chip and Dale dancers. Who doesn't, man? I can appreciate a good old-fashioned Chip and Dale dancer. Why not you, Luke the Boss? Why not you? I feel like the pirate should have turned to dust. If you see this, they should have been like, ah, yeah, die, because it's been down there. Well, I got the impression that some of them are just fucking nuts, and they've just kept up this whole facade for you. Because there are female rats. There are female pirates, a part of this culture down here. But it's crazy. I should have done well dresses at Chip and Dale. I should have done it. You're right. That was lost opportunity, Darkest. Lost opportunity. Maybe one day I'll review another episode. Rescue Rangers is the only one in high def. Oh, because it looked really good. Maybe that's why I was like, wow, this looks surprisingly great. I was like, damn, pretty good. And I guess so. I hope they convert the others to HD eventually, too. Thank you, but no, I'm glad you had a good time, Firewolf. I appreciate that. Hellenberger, would be fair to say that you are Chip and Corey is Dale? Yes, I agree. Just exasperated with him. Just constantly exasperated. But yeah, Chad. No, I guess I was also reading before they're going to do like a Blu-ray release of Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I wonder if they're going to do a new show. They do. So Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, they do show up in the new DuckTales. Like I think they get like a couple episodes and they reference them. So that's kind of cool. I wouldn't be shocked if they do a new reboot series or something. That'd be neat. But, chat, I'm going to take a brief... Oh, but to let you guys know, in case you're curious, this is my TV reviews. And if you happen to donate 1,000 biddies, chat, basically $10, I will review an episode of television of your choice. Could be live action, could be animated, could be 22 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour long, or 45 minutes, anywhere in between, chat. And this is a series I typically do every single Friday. And thank you for your patience. I'll be doing another TV episode next week. I'm going to try to even fit, like... 2 if they're like shorter, like if they're they're animated. It's only about like 22 minutes and stuff. I was just very busy today. But yes, chat, just want to remind you of that. And again, thank you for all of your generosity tonight. Really appreciate it. But I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to go ahead and get myself another beverage. And then we are going to jump into some Deathloop chat. See if we can finish this up tonight or at least make some headway towards the end. But chat, entertain yourselves amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. Stick around.